Hey friends, welcome back to my studio. I'm going to paint some daisies today. And I learned something. I went back and looked at some of my old daisy paintings. And I thought, oh, because it's a good idea to revisit your paintings, paint them again. You end up learning stuff. So I was looking at this painting. Isn't it fun? I'll link it in this video's description. And I thought, well, let's crop it smaller for 5x7. Just a simple thought. So what I learned is a lot of times my paintings, I don't have the flowers or any of the image going off the canvas. Here, see how all the flowers are within the edge of the canvas? Nothing wrong with it, but I think this is nice too. Isn't that funny? So that's probably the best tip of this whole video is right off in the beginning is like have some of your stuff going off the edge of the canvas. Okay guys, let's jump in. Let's set the table. I painted it yellow oxide mostly just to use up this almost empty tube of paint. You could paint it yellow, you could put a little brown in the yellow, so a little quinacridone, just a teeny bit of black and make a yellow oxide. Let's see what else. Titanium white, Phthalo blue, Quinacridone magenta, Mars black. I'm also painting 2 ornaments while I'm doing this, just to have them on hand. I drill holes in them, wire them. I have videos on this if you're interested. I have quite a few holiday ones. Depending on when you're watching this video, that you might like to paint those. I'm using a 3/4 inch flat brush from Royal and Langnickel. And I mixed some greens. So this is yellow oxide, a little pinch of black, and then I put a little yellow in it to make kind of an olive green. And then this is phthalo blue and yellow oxide to make that green. Oh, and the brown is yellow oxide, some quinacridone, and some black. Okay, I think I'm gonna put in, oh, so this is about 1/3 of the way down. I think it's a little more. Oh gosh, it's pretty close. And this is about halfway down. Here. The other thing is I'm kind of rushing this painting, so my paint, this is sticky. It takes, even though oh, it's a little more than half, but I was aiming for half. Even though I've dried it quite well with the hairdryer, it still can, I mean, you can paint on it, but just be aware that it may lift up and you might have to let it dry longer. Okay, I'm gonna put in some green grasses, some simple grass, and I'll be back in a bit. A couple of comments. I painted a magenta road, line, path into the painting, and then I kind of blurred it out. I'm following, well, not completely, because this magenta area and this flower is pretty much right in the center of my painting. So I moved things over a little bit, just because I like that better. You can't, with this many flowers, you could put something in the center, it'd be fine. What else? I have my sky a little darker than what I just flashed on that reference photo. Did I flash that so you could see it? So this is, as I mentioned in the beginning, it's a cropped painting, which is such a great idea. Plus, it reminds me that I don't usually put flowers off the edge, which is also a good idea. There's so many things to think about when you paint. You can't think of them all. I don't think of them all. Oh, maybe, and okay, so the background. And I came back and put some sky color in just to break up this line a little bit. Okay, then I took a white General's charcoal pencil and drew the daisies. Sometimes just a few lines of, or like an outline. This is an oval. I was gonna say an egg shape, but it's an oval. So I kind of know the boundaries that I'm thinking for the flower. I have the bee here, even though it's not done, so I don't want to go up too high in case I get some crazy petals going. Oh, I forgot to paint in the green on that bud. I painted with some yellow and white first, just to be sure to cover the background, and then came back with some oranges, a little straight up magenta, just for pretty color change. My light's coming from up top left, which I do quite a bit when I'm just painting for fun. I do have flowers on the sides, so that'll go over to this side. I've got one on the bottom. Oh, I need to paint that yellow. And one on this side. Is that showing? And I think that gets us up to speed. I can come back and do that. Oh, brushes. So I'm using this #1 round from Simply Simmons. I used to use these all the time. I think this is my last one. I have to see if I can buy some more. They're just a nice size for skinny little detail, like painting in the bee. I use the angle brush just because I grabbed it. It's a 3/8 inch from Royal and Langnickel. I could have done the stems with either of those two brushes. Sometimes I just grab what's right in front of me. I'm going to clean that out a little bit. And then I'm thinking for the petals, this is also a 3/8 inch. It says number 10. I got it on Amazon in a pack, really inexpensive. But the handles, the paint, it can barely handle being in the water at all. Pops right off. If you like cheap, it's great. Oh, and see that handle's loose. You might be able to take some pliers and squeeze it back on there. If it comes off completely, just put some super glue down in there. But I like that they're thin. I like that they're cheap. Okay. I think that covers the bases. I was gonna stop videoing, but maybe we'll paint a couple petals in real time. So, yeah, I'm hesitating. Let's paint some brown petals. Maybe we'll just paint brown petals everywhere. You could do bluish and then work up to white so that you get some layers and some value change. I might want a little blue too. Oh, I think this is it's a number 40 palette knife from Blick Art Materials. I've had some that are very similar to say number 20, and I don't know what the difference is. This one's beat up. Oh, yeah, see that one says 20, but I've used it for a tool, so it's all bent. I don't know what the difference is. So I'm just looking for something that isn't white. It's gonna dry a little darker. Let's just take some of our sky color. I have a small studio, but a big window in it, which is really nice. But there's some guys working outside it. So it caught my attention when I see the movement. I feel like that's too dark. Let's just grab the rest of that white. Okay. Maybe I'll make this a little... Actually, I'm going to wipe off most of my palette knife. I don't care if there's a little blue in there. I'm kind of just looking for color. And I don't know that you need a blue and a brown. I'm just not sure what I want, so I'm doing both. Or maybe we'll use both. That could be kind of fun too. Okay, so let's use, so I just loaded up my brush, probably loaded it up too much. And I know I want one, so I'm gonna push down and then lift up. They don't have to connect. That one I just kind of swiped. So this is easier if you turn it too. Turn it also. But I don't, well, I suppose I can. I don't want to make you guys dizzy. I'm going to go a little darker. Let's put, just pull. We got a daisy. You could do them all brown if you want. I'm thinking I might do the ones down in the grasses blue. Oh, and I need to do that too. I forget things. I forget the feet on birds. Okay, so I want one petal pointing towards the bumblebee. Kind of connect it to the, I was worried about that not being, or I was worried about that being too dark, and now I'm going darker. Sometimes you know better once you put a stroke down on your painting. You can tell better if you want it lighter or darker. Oh, I'm trying to decide. Maybe I'll do a skinny one. And then we'll do a short one. There. Okay, so that shows you how to do one from the side, one from underneath. Oh, here, should we do one from the top? And then we'll call that good. That'll cover most of your angles. Google or look on like unsplash.com, pixabay.com. You can Google Creative Commons Zero Daisy photos so you can get an idea what they look like. I don't know if this is even what they look like. This is how I've been painting them for a while now. Okay, so let's just use the blue down here. I'm going to come back with white and lighten up some of the petals. Some will be in shadow and some will be here. I can just show you. See how this one's blue? I'm definitely going to keep that idea. That's a good idea. And then I've come back with some darker in the shadow area. There's some shadow on this side of the center of the daisy. Some light where the light might be hitting it. So I'm just generally thinking my light is top and left, but it can bounce around too. Okay. Should we kind of point? This might not matter, but just to help me start, point towards that daisy. Let's see, I think they're short up here. Maybe we'll do a long one. It's nice to kind of have this one sketched in so I can avoid it if I want, or I can go behind it and then have the flowers, the petals here go over. That's another thing I don't do. I don't have like clumps of flowers a lot. Maybe that's something we need to paint next. Okay, focus on what I'm doing here. Make that one kind of a double or fatter. I kind of like that I'm getting this edge. I might need some white to cover that stem. Or you could say it kind of shows through. A lot of times I forget to paint my stems first. It can be easier. You can do it either way. I've done it the other way quite a bit. Let's see. You can have gaps. Sometimes I fill it in a lot. Should we leave a gap? I'm just gonna put a skinny one. Okay, guys, hopefully that helps a bit. I'll be back in a bit. Hey friends, let's do a screenshot. In case you guys want one. I don't know. Oh, I don't think that's square. I don't know if I can get it square. I think everything's kind of at an angle. That's not too bad though. I did paint the sides. Top is just blue. Flower on the bottom. That's new for me. Well, and then new having flowers go over the edge. I like it. I think that's so funny that didn't occur to me until I cropped that old painting. I think that's really funny. I've got one ornament done. I haven't wired it yet. I need to varnish it. And then I've got one pretty close, about halfway, I suppose. What else? I like putting in, let me know what you think. Like I just kind of have blobs of pink, different shades of pink. I see it like confetti. Just kind of makes it happier for me. I think that's about it. I can't think of it. I can't. Oh, this took a couple layers. I had my white really thin, but that's okay. You just keep working it till you get the values you want. Okay, guys, let me know if you give this one a try. That's always fun for me to see. Super appreciate your support, and it's been so fun to connect with you. Great big happy art hugs, and I hope to chat with you soon. Bye, guys.